श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। यमाय धर्मराजाय ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च So the third boon of Nachiketa was, tell me, is there something that survives death? Teach me about that. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye astiti eke nayam astiti chaike. Vichikitsa, a doubt, a lot of back and forth. As we saw, this back and forth about what is not available for senses can never end. Because you have no means of clinching the argument. Whatever you say, you're very smart. You say something, there will be somebody smarter than you who will come up with a better answer. Whatever you say, it will purely be a theory. So Shankara dismisses the entire arguments, logical arguments, pure logic arguments by saying, look, everybody who is smart, there is somebody smarter than them. As simple as that. Because, see, if it's a matter of what is the color of this pot, it's terracotta, it's easy to see. There is no contention about it. What's available for clear perception or inference is not a matter for contention. Nobody argues about there's a pot or there's a brick. Nobody argues about it. What do you argue about? That is in some way not clear enough. Maybe better light makes it clear, like a rope snake. Possible. But what is not available for objectification by any means of perception, how are you going to make a statement which will hold? How? It's impossible. Therefore, when it comes to adrishta, karmaphala, etc., Bhagavan says in Gita what? Gahana karmano gatihi. Gahana karmano gatihi. You cannot really know everything about karma. It's impossible. Any statement you make about will be, maybe close, may not be. We don't know. So the only means of knowledge is what? Shabda pramanam. Not pratyaksha, not anumana. Shabda is the only way. That is why Upanishad has to be studied for this jnanam. But before Upanishad, what comes in the Veda? Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda is going to be nitya paroksha vishaya. It can never become something known to you. When it comes to Swarga, etc. If it says you will get a son by doing a karma, you will see a son being born. But still one can contend that the son was not born due to the karma. You can never prove it. Somebody says, prove that artificial rain works. So what do? You take silver or lead and, seed the clouds. When you seed the clouds, you get rain, let us say. Now I say, I don't think that caused it. Who put silver iodide when monsoons collected? Nobody did. You can't prove it. I can't disprove it. Equally good. But the fact is, it's not available for proving. So what does Shraddha become then? A matter of Shraddha becomes what? It will ever remain a belief. It will forever remain a belief. If it's a belief, how does any belief help you? Suppose you want to believe, I am the king of the world. Will it make you a king? How does believing that, I am Bhagwan, how is it going to help you? It won't help you, 100%. Then what do you mean by pramanam? What do you mean the Veda is a means of knowledge? Means of knowledge means I should know, not believe. I am not asking for means of belief. I am asking for means of knowing. How are you going to convert the Shraddha into Jnanam? How will it happen? So if I tell you, there is a beautiful golden ring in this pot. Shraddha you can have. You can come and check. Swamiji, kutra asti? It's not there. Therefore, my Shraddha was misplaced, you can say. But when I say, when you do good karma, you will go to Swarga, how will you prove it? How will I disprove it? By the time you go there, the fellow who was here, this body is all gone. Maybe he will understand, yes, I did, but you can't prove it here. Then how does one gain Shraddha? Shraddha comes partly from your culture, your background, your parentage, because a lot of things, if you look at what you believe, have not been believed after you got a thinking mind, this is right or wrong. It's all just, entered your mind subliminally, and it stays there. And you say, yes, that is all correct. And those are like core beliefs. If you disturb them, people get very disturbed. Suppose I say, why do you say only Vishnu is Bhagavan? Why not Shiva? Vaishnava will get upset. He will get upset. Similarly, Shaiva, Shaiva Vaishnava is just example, okay? Examples we can give, but the point that I'm saying is, we hold on to a belief. And a belief which cannot be dismissed, how do you remove it? Unless it hurts you, you don't have to remove it also. But then, suppose I tell you, please believe this is a rock. Can you oblige me or not? Can you oblige me? Or this is a mango. Better. Rock, maybe you will say it's a glass rock. This is a mango. Can you oblige me? Why you can't oblige me? Because you are so confident that what you are seeing is not a mango. Suppose I say, what I have in my hand is a mango. You're not seeing it now. Now, can you dismiss it? You can't. But to prove it, you need to see it. Basically, you can only talk about something in definitive terms when it's available to you to know in some way. But everything you know can be improved upon in terms of your knowledge. What do you say? This is a grape. What is grape? You examine further. It has so many parts. Right? So, you can keep on improving upon it. So, therefore, no knowledge that you gain is the last word. Any knowledge you gain is subject to further research and improvement or not. If it is not so, all our science department should be closed down. Research is over now. But it continues. Which means that what today you know about COVID, there'll always be a fellow who will say this is all nonsense. Somebody has deliberately created this virus. Truth or not, we'll never know. And this is what it does. This is the sequence, You have some sequence for them and you figure out. RT-PCR test will tell you something. But that test itself was wrong, is proven. Then you come with a better test. Then you come with a better test. Right? First they'll tell you, some things are bad for your health. Beer is bad for your health. Then somebody else will tell you what? No. Some beer is good for your health. you will see almost every year you will find one plus and minus coming. Because the beer industry won't keep quiet if you say it's bad for your health. They have to do something. See, the oil industry has invested in research to sow doubt in your mind that the fossil fuels are the problem. They sow doubt. That's all they have to do. Sow a doubt in your mind. They will produce a research paper. This is not proven. Now, oil industry will quote that. They funded that research. And their goal to scientists is make some room for us. And they're going about scientifically, with an agenda, but scientifically. Therefore, do you understand something? Anything other than plain, this is red, this is white. Any knowledge is subject to improvement. Means what? What was knowledge, what was considered knowledge becomes what? Non-knowledge. Now, then what is the status of a knowledge at all? If you say everything is subject to change, it is only knowledge temporarily, till it is disproved. Right? Why? Because you have a means of knowing, you have an object to be known, and there is a certain capacity constraint in how much you can use these means to know something. But now the Upanishad part, the Vedanta, is talking about what? Jagat Karanam Brahma, cause of the whole universe. But what does it say it is? It says it is you. It is you. How do you know yourself? How do you know yourself? Using your eyes? Using your nose? How do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? You cannot say, I don't know myself. But do you know yourself correctly? Or is it subject to change like all other knowledge? It seems like it is subject to change. In fact, every moment it is changing. Now you say I'm a doer, now you say I'm a thinker, now you say I'm a watcher, now you say a hearer. Who are you? All these are you. Who are you? Without the changes. Who is unchanging you? Now, when I say what's in my hand is a mango, it's a matter for belief. When I say you are something, you can't say, okay, I'll believe it. You can't say that. What do you have to do? You have to examine with whatever you have. How do you examine the pramanam? And I'll tell you, this Atma is not available for your inference and perception. Now what are you going to do with it? And it's apparent to you. Because before you see, you are. Before you hear, you are. Before you think, you are. After a thought, you are. During the thought, you are. Thought or no thought, you are. Does that you are depend on your thinking? I think, therefore I am, someone said. So if you don't think, you are not there or what? Not true. So you can see clearly that the means of knowledge come later, but the one for whom means of knowledge are available is already there. Means of knowledge for whom? Means karana, instrument. Instrument means there has to be a fellow who wields the instrument. Scissors don't cut clothes just like that. Somebody wields it. The pressure cooker doesn't cook by itself. Somebody has to cook in it. Every means has to be used. All those you have are means. For whose sake is knowledge? Who has knowledge? Who has ignorance? Who is that? That is you. How will you know that by which you know knowledge and ignorance? You see the impossibility of trying to know this by inference and perception. Swami, then it will become Shraddha? No. If it was something like what's in my hand, it will be Shraddha. But when I'm talking about you cannot fall back upon Shraddha. At least you have to tell me, you may not know what it is. But if I tell you, let's say you don't know what it is, okay? You don't know what this is. I tell you, this is a mango. You'll say, no, it's not a mango. It's an apple. Whatever you know, if I show you, you'll say what? That it is not. That it is not. And if I show you, if I tell you what is Atma, and you are able to see, because you don't know what you are, Shruti tells you, you are the whole. You are the limitless whole. You neither understand the word limitless nor do you understand the word whole. So, Shruti has to make me understand what I am without, without fail. And it is possible because it is me. Therefore, the knowledge about myself is not finally Shraddha. It begins as Shraddha but ends as undeniable, undisputable understanding. Not some understanding. See, every word I use is limited. Every word I use is limited. No word will deliver the final meaning because we try to understand everything by means of a synonym. Any word I use, you understand the word based on your understanding of the language. Now, for whom is language? Who is the thought? The thought is trying to know you or know something other than you. Any thought. Any thought. What does any thought encompass? Something which appears on your mental frame. Correct? If it doesn't appear in your mind frame, you won't know. I may hold the clock all I want here, but if somebody is keeping his head down, he will never see the clock. When does the time enter your head? When you look at it. Look at it mindfully. And that time appears and you understand it is time and you say, oh, it's 9:20 now. So every thought will tell you about what? What's a thought? Comes and goes. Comes and goes. Who was there before it came? You. Who is there after it went? You. How will you know that by a thought? See the impossibility first. Therefore, to say that I will know it through logic is mere foolishness. I will know it as an object is an impossibility. You are trying to say I will do the impossible. As I said to you, very simple logic is you are there in dream, you are there in waking, you are there in sleep. That's clear to you, hopefully. Therefore, whatever goes, the whole waking world goes, can it be real? More real than you? What is real? See, what is real, what is unreal? Swamiji, whatever I objectify is real. Whatever I cannot objectify is unreal. This is the simple child logic, okay? Which is where most of the world is. What do we say? What is real is that which cannot be negated. Trikalepi tishtati iti sat. Abadhitam sat. That which is in all three periods of time and that which cannot be negated is what is called true, real. Now you tell me, what is true? What is there in all three periods of time? Past, present and future. What is there? You will have to say there is nothing. Based on your current knowledge, you have to say there is nothing. What is it which cannot be denied? You know, the denier cannot be denied. The denier cannot be denied. Can you deny the denier? Who is the denier? You. Can you deny yourself? What is it? I don't exist. How does it sound to you? I don't exist. I am not. You know? I never tell a lie. Rather, I never tell the truth. What do you make out of this? I don't have a tongue. Am I being honest? Can I make this statement? You can see the paradox there. I never tell the truth. Now you tell me, is it true or untrue? If you say it is true, I have told you I never tell the truth. If you say it's untrue, it doesn't fit either. What will you do with this statement? So understand that to make any statement about a reality which is not available for the means of knowledge and which should become knowledge, it cannot be something remote away from me. It cannot be. If it is not remote from me and it is not an object which comes and goes, there's only one possibility remaining. Whether you like it or not, there is only one possibility remaining. I'm forcing you into a corner. What is that possibility? It must be talking about me. But I have a very, very strong opinion about who and what I am. When that is my opinion, any amount of telling you differently about it is not going to enter your head. It won't enter your head. I say you have no gender. Swamiji, what are you telling me? I'm not transgender. I don't mean that. I mean you have no gender, absolutely. You are neither male nor female nor neuter. All lingas are out. Swamiji, what does it mean? The truth is you are neither sentient nor insentient. What does that mean to you? You have no attributes. What does it mean to you? It will all shake you up. But if you look at it, simple logic. Whatever you can objectify means whatever becomes a means of something that you come to know through a thought, which comes and goes, you cannot be that. Is this acceptable? Simple argument. Is it acceptable or not? Whatever you objectify, you cannot be that. Because you were there before you objectified, you were there after you objectified. You cannot be that. Okay. You stay with this and now tell me what are you. Stay with just one thought. Don't go anywhere further. Now examine all your conclusions about yourself. I'm a professor. Whatever it might be, okay? I'm a husband. I'm a wife. I'm a man. I'm a woman. I'm a Vedika. I'm a student. I'm a teacher. You take anything. Will it hold? But are you in doubt? You are. You are. So then, if everything that comes in your mind, if you have to remove, then what should be your truth? What should be the truth? Something which you don't have to objectify with the mind. And something which is there in every cognition. You think that, Swamiji, I am there and I am cognizing something other than me. You are there, you are cognizing the knower and the known. And you think you are different from the knower and the known. Sakshi bhava. I am witness. I witness the knower and the known. Still you try to maintain a difference between I and the knower known. That is a problem. It may be one way it is. Possibility. But Shruti tells you clearly it is not so. The knower and known come together and go. The knower, known and instrument of knowing comes together and goes together. Dhiya saha udeti, dhiya saha astameti. Dhiya means mind. With the mind the world arises, with the mind the world sets. The mind and world come together and go together. What is remaining when the mind comes and goes? Is that different from the mind and the world? Or is it not? Possibilities can exist. But will you ever know something separately, without a world, without this mind? Can you know anything? Do you have a problem without the mind? Do you need to solve a problem if you don't have a mind? You're sleeping. You're fine asleep. When does the problem begin? When you wake up. Can you be awake and not have a mind? Not possible. Now, the question is the mind the problem? Remove the mind. Can you remove it? You can't. What's the reality? As the Shruti says, hey, the mind is an appearance. Like pot is an appearance in clay. Like pot is an appearance in clay. You think there's a pot? Do you think there's a pot? Yes, yeah, I see a pot. What you see is a name and a form. You don't see reality. Because what does the reality of the pot belong to? Before the pot came, what was there? A lump of clay was there. Right? So what is the reality of this pot? Where does when you say that lump of clay is, now you made a pot. Where does isness belong? Does it belong to the pot or does it belong to the clay? You can see that you did not, if you can make a pot without clay, then I'm okay. But can you make a pot without clay or without any other material? You can't. Why do you need a material? Because without material there is no, without karanam there is no karyam. All right. So now, the being of the pot depends on what? On clay. Being of your shirt depends on what? On fabric. Being of fabric depends on what? What it's born of? The fibers, the threads. The threads being depends on what? On cotton. Cotton being depends on what? On the soil. Soil being depends on what? Whatever it depends on. Earth is not forever. What is the rule you come to know? Anything which begins in time, anything which is objectified in time, came from something else which preceded it in time. Is there a doubt? Okay. Therefore, anything you see in the world had a predecessor. You can go any amount of time back, regress back, but still that will also have a predecessor. Therefore, whatever you see objectify in time and space is going to be what? Dependent on something else for its reality. Insofar as it depends on something else, in time you can figure that out. But that also depends on something else. So, if the world exists today, you cannot say it does not have a dependence on something. It has a dependence on something. But it cannot depend on one more thing in time finally, because then it will never end. The chain will go on forever. And if the chain will go on forever, you cannot have reality. You understand what I'm saying? If A depends on B, B depends on C, C depends on D, D depends on E, and if there is no Z, Y won't exist. Unless there is Z, Y won't exist. Therefore, for the whole time-space world to be, there must be something which is existing which is not in time and space. There must be something. Is there a doubt? The entire premise is you see something and you say it is, that isness must belong somewhere. It can't not be there. I can't not be there. I am. And that is not available for objectification, because it's not in time and space. If it's not available for objectification, guess what? It doesn't have a color, it doesn't have a smell, it doesn't have a taste, it doesn't have a touch. Now you look at your thoughts. Are your thoughts about something you perceive or don't perceive? Even if it's an emotion, it's perceived or not? In time. Every emotion is in time. Every recollection is in time. Therefore, it has a cause. What is there which is beyond time? But you know, as I said, in sleep there is no time. In waking, time comes. You are aware of the timeless too. You are the timeless. Are you not? And if everything comes from something else, what is the only thing you know which is not in time and space? Everything you objectify is in time and space, including dream world and waking world. What is the only thing which is not in time and space? How many things are there? One. If that is the only reality, whatever you see, if it depends on something, what should it depend upon? The only one. Therefore, what does the whole world depend upon? One reality. What is the only one reality you cannot deny? I am. So you tell me, what is your reality status? Is this Shraddha? Is this Shraddha? Or is this Jnanam? If you say, Swamiji, I believe you, that is Shraddha. It doesn't work. Guruji says, so therefore I believe it. No, don't believe me. I am not believable. You have to see it as an impossibility otherwise. Anyatha anupapatti. And you cannot say, Swamiji, I can't, it's beyond me. It's you I'm talking about. How can it be beyond you? You are. This is what Shruti has to teach us. How can it teach you? How will you describe something which you never saw? I ask you, please describe that. What is that? You'll ask me, what is that? Suppose a giraffe. You can describe animal, long neck, etc. I won't tell you what it is. It is not having any attributes. It is not in space and time. Describe it. How will you describe it? Swamiji, I don't understand anything if you don't describe. True, for what you want to objectify, unless I describe, you can't know. But about you, you come first or your description comes first? But Swamiji, how can I be truth? Why? What do you think is your truth? This is me, Swamiji. Good. Very good. How long have you lived? 45 years, Swamiji. 45 years you've lived. Have you been the same all the time? Has this body been the same all the time? No, it's been changing. Were you witnessing the body all the way? Yes, Swamiji. What is witness cannot be you? Do you agree? Yes. Body cannot be you. What are you now? You have to say, I cannot be that. You must have a self-opinion. You cannot say, I am not what you're telling me, unless you already believe you are different from that. I am asking you, what are you? And anything you say you are, we will prove you cannot be that. Is this a pot? Yes, Swamiji. Coconut business. Break it. Is it a pot? No. What is there? Swamiji, pot pieces. Pot pieces are real. I'll powder them. What is there? Pot powder, Swamiji. You see, you forget one more word. Pot is. Pot pieces, forget the number. Singular, plural. Pot pieces is. Okay? For now, my English you leave out. Pot powder is. You took that powder and made something else, that is. Does is ever go? Swamiji, ignorance is. Sadness is. Any absence is. Is there anything other than is? Can you talk of anything which is not is? If you say not is, I'll say what is not? Swamiji, elephant is not in the room. Okay. Is remaining. Elephant absence in the room is. What is the meaning of is? What object is called is? Is there an object called is, like cheese? Is there an is? Swamiji, this is called is. Is it like that? You can call it is, but that's not ease we are talking about. What is the meaning of ease? Pot, you have a meaning. Clock, you have a meaning. Fan, you have a meaning. Air, you have a meaning. Fire, you have a meaning. Correct? Beautiful. Subjective, but you have a meaning. Angry, you have a meaning. Japan, you have a meaning. Place, I'm saying. Warm, you have a meaning. Loud, you have a meaning. Big, you have a meaning. Ease, what's the meaning? I'm asking a simple question in English, okay? What is the meaning of ease? I don't know. Help me understand, what does ease mean? What is ease? Does it have a meaning or not? Is there an object for it? No. If there is no object, how can it have a meaning? Am. Does it have a meaning? Am. Does it have a meaning? What's the meaning? I. Does it have a meaning? What's the meaning? Body. See the problem? Body is objectified. That is not the meaning of I. Is it? If it were the meaning of I, you tell me. What do you say? Swamiji, I used to be, 60 kilos weight. Now I'm only 40. What does the weight belong to? To you or the body? Body. Is that you? You are there when it's 60 kilos. You are also there when it's 40 kilos. You were also there when it was only 3 kilos. Correct? Where is you? See how the hand goes. I. Where does it point? It points to the body. It points to the mind. It points to the senses. It points to ahankara. But it points beyond that too. That is the you, who is aware of the ahankara, of the body, of the mind. You see what we try to do in meditation? Just want to be yourself. Nothing to be done. No baggage. No good baggage or bad baggage, okay? Just be. What does to be mean? Is it something to be accomplished? Or it already accomplished? You are. Whether you want or not, you are. What are you trying to do? You're just trying to drop the baggage, excess baggage. What is excess baggage? I am this body, excess baggage. I am the mind, excess baggage. I am as good as the mind. I won't say I'm the mind. Nobody says I am the mind. Are you the mind? No, I'm not the mind. Are you sad? Yes, Swamiji. What's the difference? Are you the body? No. But how come you are so thin? Oh, Swamiji, what to do? I take all protein, still nothing happens to me. Who is thin? I am thin. Oh, you are so pretty. Oh, thank you. Who is pretty? Who is pretty? I am pretty. What is pretty about you? Put on burqa, we'll find out. So you see how we look. What comes in your mind, you identify with that. But when I show you the spot, are you the pot? You are very sure you are not. Therefore, you don't make a mistake about anything which is objectified by the senses. You don't make a mistake. Where does the mistake begin? It begins here. Universal mistake. And the correction of that mistake is the study. Upanishad is a pramanam to show you whatever you think about yourself, na iti, and further tells you whatever is cannot have a being other than you. Okay? So I have just skipped all the mantras for now. I just want you to see this clearly, okay? Because if you don't see this, all mantras are as good as dead. Don't worry about words, meanings, grammar. Nothing is needed for this. It's just talking about you. And if you understand this, then everything that is being said will make sense. And to know this, what do you need? Do you need a mind or you don't need a mind? You need a lot of mind. A mind which doesn't mind dropping all notions. You have a lot of conclusions, a lot of confusions. Are you comfortable saying what I knew was wrong into the waste bin? If I want to hold on to what I know and want to integrate this knowledge into it, you are in deep trouble. You cannot integrate this into anything. It is not integrable. It is distinct from everything else. It's in a different realm of reality, a different order of reality. Your experience of subject-object does not prove that the subject is different from the object absolutely. Because the fundamental problem is, I am a subject and everything is an object. How can the object be the subject? Understand, both subject and object have one reality. Like in your dream. Subject-object arise together. You cannot have an object without a subject. You cannot have a subject without an object. Correct? You cannot have a son without a father. You cannot have a father without a son. Slightly correction there. Daughter also. Doesn't matter. I mean, you understand what I mean, okay? Subject-object is a fundamental understanding of the world. I am a subject and I see the whole world. Aham drashta, sarvam drishyah. And what does Shastra tell you? Drik drishyau dvauhi padarthau staha. There are only two realities if you want to reduce it. Drik and drishya. Drik means seer, drishya is seen. Dvauhi padarthau staha. Paraspara vilakshanau. They are very different from each other. I am not saying subject-object are same. Yet what? Drik Brahma Drishyam Mayeti Sarva Vedanta Dindima. Drik is that which you can never deny. It's independently existent. And Drishyam has no existence independent of the Drik. This is a statement. In that context, you have to understand, there the Drik is not the relative subject. So you say, I am a knower, correct? You are all knowers, hopefully, in a class. When you are sleeping, are you a knower? No. When you are dead, are you a knower? Do dead bodies know? They don't know. What makes the dead body live? We'll say, Swamiji, the Sukshma Sharira makes it live. If you studied some Vedanta, you'll say Sukshma Sharira makes it. What makes the Sukshma Sharira possible? What gives being to the Sukshma Sharira, Sthula Sharira, Karana Sharira, if you talk technically? Finally, you have to come to that which is not in time, independent reality, whose nature is one of being able to know. But that knowing only comes to fore when there is a Sukshma Sharira, a subtle body. It's like this. Do you have a face? Yes. Can you see your face right now? No. I put a mirror in front of you. Can you see it? You can. If I destroy the mirror, did your face get destroyed? No. So does your face depend on the mirror? But does seeing your face depend on the mirror? That distinction you see. Therefore, it is not that you depend on this body, but to know this Atma, you need a mind. Not a dependency. But the fact is what? This Atma with body and mind has a problem. Because it confuses itself to be as good as a body and a mind. Swami, why does Atma get confused? This is how Atma is. It's not by design of anybody. Swami, why did God make the world like this? Is he a sadist? Why does he put us into trouble and watch? He watches our fun and enjoys itself or what? It would be true, your question would be valid, if God stood apart and watched the fun. But if God alone is a seer, God alone is a seen, then if you are a sufferer, who is a sufferer? God is a sufferer. But still you suffer, God doesn't suffer. What does it mean? God knows I am God, you don't know, you say, oh my God. That much alone is a difference. Therefore, what makes the difference is only a clear understanding of realities. Any amount of doing by the ignorant fellow is not going to make you knowledgeable. Understand now. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametah. What is preyas? Whatever you take yourself to be, identified as body, mind, sense complex, whatever that entity wants for its happiness is all shreyas. Sorry, preyas. All that is preyas. What is shreyas? Shreyas is where it does not depend on anything, it is timeless, it always is. How many realities are there? Only one. Can you throw away one and get the other? You want to know what is clay. Is this clay? No, it's a pot. Throw it away. Is this clay? No. Throw it away. Plate. Is this clay? No. Small pot. Throw it away. After you throw away all clay, you want to know clay. What will you know? What will you know? So, how do you know clay? When everything is clay and you don't see clay, how do you know clay? By examining that what I am seeing, I call it a clay pot. I call it a clay pot. Is clay and pot two independent realities? Are they independent realities? Are they equally real? Clay and pot? Pot has no being independent of clay, but clay can be without being a pot. This is not law of commutation of maths. If A is equal to B, B is equal to A. No. What is our rule? B is A, but A is not B. This is our mathematics, okay? You have to learn our mathematics. You can't stay with your old mathematic rules. Because what do I say? If A is equal to B, B is equal to A. Now I say, what is pot is clay. Therefore clay is pot. No. Pot is clay. Clay is not pot. Do you understand the mathematics? This is called Satyam Mithya mathematics. 1 plus 1 is how many? 2. If you count these forms. If you count clay, 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. 1 plus infinity is what? 1. If you miss the clay, infinite. Anantam. So, are you seeing Anantam or not? Many, in a way. But when you understand, how will you reduce this to one? Do you have to break all of them and make them to one heap? How do you see it's all one? Here. Do you do anything or do you know something? You just know. Karma is only going to produce, change, reach. What is jnanam? It doesn't produce anything. It only removes ignorance. What do we think? Anything you want to gain, you must do. Swamiji, all right, Swamiji, all this I understood. Now what should I do, Swamiji? See the problem? What should I do? What sadhana should I do? The only sadhana, finally, is to know. And once you know that sadhana is also gone, because sadhana and sadhya are all one reality. There is no end and no means. There is only one reality. Ends and means are our dichotomy. But yet, where do we begin? As an individual. Therefore, the Shruti has to take you from where you are to the knowledge that there is no individuality. You are all that is here. And that requires you can't do it suddenly. Unless you're a special soul who has gained a lot of punya long ago and you just come here to know you are and go away. That's an exception. That's not the rule. Therefore, with what do you know anything? With your mind. What kind of a mind? A mind which is non-judgmental, which is objective. How do you make mind non-judgmental and objective? That's a lot of work to be done. What is the work? Do work, but not to gain the end, but to gain a mind which accepts what is. That is Karma Yoga. When you do, not for the sake of an end, but do for the sake of growing into a person who can accept what is. Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. So now what happens? In order to gain the freedom that I'm seeking, freedom from wanting to be different, I need to know there is only one reality, that is me. In order to know that, I need a mind which is prepared. I need a teacher. I need Shastra. To gain the mind of that kind, I have to do a lot of things. To do that, I may need more things. But everything should get connected to what? To that freedom. If it's connected to that chain, then you're fine. If it's disconnected, then it will take you back to samsara. So this is the whole story, okay? There is nothing more to be said really. But this story has to be understood. And even after a lifetime, we may not understand. It looks simple. As Swamiji would say, you come to a 3-year course. First day of the course also you hear this. Last day of the course also you hear this. Every day in between also you'll hear this. And at the end of 3 years, you will still say, Swamiji, what should I do now? This is our reality. All of us, okay? I'm not making exceptions. In general, that's our situation. When you don't have to ask what should I do, you're free. You know? Bhrigu goes to his father Varuna. Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. Please teach me Bhagavan, Brahman. He tells him, what? That from which everything comes, that in which everything is, that in which everything resolves, that is Brahman. Where should I look for that Brahman? Look in this body, mind, sense, etc. You look there. Look in all these. He's given a task. He goes away, comes back. Then he says, Annam brahmeti vyajanat. He thinks annam. Annam can mean that which eats and that which is eaten, both. Adyate atticha bhutani. That is me. Father says, what? Tapasa brahma vijigyasasva. Continue to inquire. Go. He goes away. Comes back. Pranam brahmeti vyajanat. That life that enlivens everything is Brahman. Father says, okay. Tapasa brahma vijigyasasva. Goes back. Mano brahmeti vyajanat. And he is right at every level. At every level he has reason why he is saying what he is saying. He gives the reason. Father says, Tapasa brahma vijig. It's like a broken tape, okay? Every time you come back, you play it again, it says, Tapasa brahma vijigyasasva. Swamiji, tapas means what? I should stand on 1 feet in Ganga. That is not tapas. Tapas here is inquiry. Tapas will include all that you need to do to gain that preparedness also. Tapo brahmeti satapo tapyata. He did tapas again. Then what? Vijnanam brahmeti iti vyajanat. He understood. Vijnanam. No. Then he comes back. What? Anando brahmeti vyajanat. Anandadhyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Anande najata nijivanti. Anandam prayanti abhisamvishanti. Then what does the Upanishad say? Saisha bha gavi varuni vidya. Vidya ended. Why? Because Varuna didn't come back. Adhihi bhagavo brahmeti. He didn't come back. Why he didn't come back? Who will he come back to? For what will he come back? Varuna is also Brahman. Bhrigu is also Brahman. There is only Brahman. Who to come back for what? It's over. That is what knowledge is. Means you no longer need to ask anybody to validate anything because there is no second thing other than you. Guru Shishya Bheda is also gone. There is only one. That's clarity. So until when will we come? Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. Until it is unclear, it will happen. And there is nothing wrong with it. So this is what the whole Shruti has to teach. So what should it do? You have to learn. Right now what's being highlighted is you cannot know it by logic alone. You cannot know it by the means of knowledge you have at your disposal. What are they? Mainly perception and inference. Therefore, he had to ask this question to Yamadharma Raja. Because vichikitsa asti. Astityeke nayam astiti chaike. And this doubt, this vichikitsa cannot be removed by logic. This should be clear to you. So if somebody says, I'm an MIT scholar, I can do everything. Hey, you can't figure this one out. You can't stand on your own shoulder. This should be very clear, otherwise you will always think, especially those of us who are blessed with a little better thinking, we will somehow think, I can figure it out. I've seen people from IIT who insist they can figure it out. If your teacher can figure it out, I can also figure it out. What's the big deal? That's the thinking. You can figure out something which is available for figuring out as an object. You can't figure out yourself. You can't even see your own blessed face without help. A mirror. The whole Shastra is a word mirror. It's a mirror. Kathopanishad is a mirror. Taittiriya Upanishad is a mirror. Kena Upanishad is a mirror. What does the mirror do? Does it produce something? Is it different from the face? Yes. But what does it do? It shows the face which already is. That much alone is example, okay? Not that mirror is different from the face. That is not the example. It's a mirror. Means what? When you look at the mirror, do you look at the mirror to see how beautiful the mirror is? Beautiful mirror. Every day you look at the mirror. Beautiful mirror. Is that what you do? Do you buy a mirror to admire the mirror? Why do you buy a mirror? Because you want to see how good you are. Right? Take a mirror. So when you look at the mirror, and suppose the mirror shows a face which you can't appreciate, what will you say? Mirror is dirty, throw it away? What will you say? I need more makeup. Because I need to cover up what I don't like about it, correct? You need to be made up. And when you make yourself up, what do you know? I am made up. This is not me. I am made up. Therefore, you need to repeatedly check that you're making others think that you are not made up. Therefore, you need to go and check periodically. Is everything okay? Because what goes, one wrinkle will show. You know? Because somebody who used to use, hair dye, for some reason he couldn't get a dye for some time. All of a sudden you see the fellow who has jet black hair is coming with clean white hair, and he has to explain himself to everybody. It's not pleasant. It's very difficult. Because suddenly from black to white, no pepper, no salt and pepper, only salt. It's not easy. But why did he diligently put a dye for so many years? Because he's probably barely 30 or 40 years old and he didn't want to look the way he looked. Understand makeup? What I mean is, in every makeup, the judgment that I am not okay is there. Therefore, I need to project myself differently from the way I really am. You can hide your age, your wrinkles from the whole world, but can you hide it from yourself? I am wrinkled. If the body is you, how are you going to get rid of this complex? You can't. I can't think like others. I don't have memory like others. How will you get rid of it? You can't. What's the only way to be free from all these notions, these limitations, is to know the limitations are there, but I have nothing to do with them. Despite all the limitations being seen in this body-mind-sense complex, in the world, I have nothing to do with any of them. In fact, all of them depend on me, but I depend on none of them. That's why I said, you cannot, you know, you cannot objectify the Atma, and thankfully, you need not objectify the Atma. You cannot make the mind necessarily better or the body better, but you need not. For you to be happy, you need not change anything in the world. Anything in the world you need not change. Your background, your body, your age, your nationality, your color, your gender, your past, your anxieties, nothing has to go. What has to go? The identification with that has to go. How will it go? When you have a new identity. What is your new identity? That which swallows all these. That alone is the knowledge which can make you free once and for all. Because it's not in time. It doesn't depend on anything changing. It is that on which time and space depend. This is what Nachiketa wants to know. So he's being told what? Anytime you have a choice to make, your choice can be with reference to looking for something else in space and time, something which is going to change by nature, or it can be that which is not available in space and time, but is available in space and time. How? Pot is not clay, but clay is available here. I am going after a pot, but I am not going after a pot for pot's sake. I am going for clay. Therefore, in any situation, there is what? Shreyascha preyascha. One which is based on the appearances, namarupa, and the other which is the underlying reality. Underlying is a word. It is not under or over. Is the clay under the pot? Is it over the pot? Is it inside the pot? Where is clay? Whole pot is clay. Oh, clay is only this much? No, this is also clay. You understand? It pervades and transcends. Understand the word transcend? Pervade means there is nothing but that. Transcend means all these things you see are clay, but clay is much more than all these. Same way, the entire universe of names and forms you see, all those names and forms are one reality, and that one reality exceeds or transcends all that is there. You can have men with 4 heads or 10 heads, no problem. One more form is no problem. Any number of forms is no problem. Why? You transcend the form. So when you get these two, Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametaha, then what does a Viveki do? Tau Samparitya. Approaching them, examining them carefully. Vivinakti Dhiraha. Vivinakti. Vivekam Karoti. He examines. Vivechanam. Is this permanent? Is this impermanent? Shruti tells me there is one Nitya and Anitya. Is it Nitya or Anitya? Any Nama Rupa is Anitya. Nahi chahiye. I don't want it. Therefore, he goes after Shreyas. Any prayers he sees as a source of trouble. Because when I go after something which is in time, when I go after something which I think is other than me, which means I depend on some crutch other than me, and that crutch can be taken away, it will ultimately prove to be a source of sorrow to me. Anything I depend upon other than me, if I depend on something else for my well-being, I will cry one day. Rotsyati. In Brihadaranyaka, we saw what? If you say, Atma is not Priyaha, Priyatamaha. If something other than Atma is Priyaha, that understanding Tvam Rotsyati. It will make you, because it will go away, it will vanish. And when it vanishes, you will cry. If you are well informed, you don't start committing your love for Anatma. You know that anything you start looking up as your as the solution to your problem cannot be if it's other than you. Therefore, what? Shreyas and prayas both come. Who is a Viveki Dhiraha? One who always selects Shreyas over prayas. But Swamiji, in daily life, how can I select only Shreyas? That's the question yesterday. Understand that, Swami, should I take dal or should I take rice? It doesn't matter what you take, because both are for keeping this body going. What is necessary you have to do. You have to live your life. And karma will present you or put you in situations where you have to do what you have to do. The way to make selections is they are not driven by raga dvesha. They are not driven by personal preferences. They are driven by saying, look, in this situation, this is to be done by me. Whether I like it or not, it is to be done by me. What will that do? It will help you grow over that pressure of raga dvesha, which is what normally drives our lives. Therefore, if I can be relatively unaffected by the ups and downs happening in the mind, then alone I can make choices which may bring about results which I can't accept easily. Means I have to learn to accept what is relatively. So you cannot say, Swami, but moksha is not objectifiable, it's nothing. How can I select anything in the world? No, you have to live your life. You have to make choices. You have no choice but to make choice. If you don't make a choice, that's also a choice. You understand? Swami, I won't make a choice. That's a choice. Because something will happen, whether you make a choice or not. Swami, I won't eat anything. Your stomach will have some trouble after a while. Then what will you do? I still won't eat. It will have more trouble. Everything you do has a consequence. Because whether you say I make or not, see both. Kim karma kima karmeti kavayo pyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshyami yajñātva mokshase shubhat. What is karma? What is a karma? Karmano hyapi bodhavyancha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. That is 4th chapter in the Gita. What is karma is to be understood. What is wrong karma, prescribed karma, is to be understood. Akarma. Right? Vikarma. What is inaction also should be understood. Akarmanascha bodhavyam. And what is the answer? All these three. What is you say is to be done, what is not to be done, and not doing are all part of karma. What does it mean? It all is based on your will. It's will-based choice. It's choice-based. Whatever is choice-based is karma. I won't choose. That's a choice you made. Karma. And every karma will have a phalam. Drishta phalam, adrishta phalam. But if you say, this karma I am only doing because I think it needs to be done by me. I have nothing to gain if it succeeds. I have nothing to lose if it doesn't go through. Yet, I need to do it. Because I have a place in this creation. I have a role in this time and place. The only reason to not do it is because of my personal preferences. I don't want to nourish my personal raga dvesha. I want to do it because that's the only way raga dvesha will finally get attenuated. Any amount of study of the Shastra will not do it just by study. Won't do. Have to do what has to be done. Have to live life as it has to be lived. And each of us have our own patterns in life. No two of us are alike. And none of us have the same pattern all time in our life. It's a changing kaleidoscopic reality. But what is A person who wants only this knowledge, what is the attitude? Whatever comes, agatam swagatam kuryat. Whatever comes, let it come. Doesn't mean you blindly go. You make choices. But despite all your choices, you might find yourself in situations which are not comfortable. It's okay. Gachantam na nivarayet. If something is going away, don't try to hold on to it. Let it go. As you grow. So, which means what? You reduce your dependency on situations and events. Even on your own body and mind. You try to reduce the dependency. Relatively. Absolute freedom will only come with understanding. So the entire goal becomes what? To live life aligned to growing into this person who recognizes reality. That is called Vaidika life. Ishvararpitam, Nechayakritam, Chitta Shodhakam, Mukti Sadhakam. When whatever is done as to be done by me in this situation, it becomes Ishvararpitam. Not done na Ichayakritam. That becomes what? Chitta Shodhakam. That which gives you Chitta Shuddhi. Mukti Sadhakam. That will give you moksha. What does Bhagavan say? Swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manava. By doing one's own karma, one gains the preparedness which will ultimately lead to moksha. Therefore, it is important that we know how to make choices in life. And what drives it is it going to fatten my ragadvesha or is it going to attenuate it? If it is going to make my own likes and dislikes even more, stronger, that will make me regress in a way. I may have the ability to arrange things to my like and dislike, but if I continue to do that, that will take me away, because the more you invest in ragadvesha based pursuits, the more reality you give them. Shastra, once in 1 year you come 10 days and listen. Then what happens after the remaining 300 days? The other things only come to you. They get strengthened more and more. So it takes a persistent, keeping in touch with what I have learned and trying to make that part of my life. This is sadhana. Jnanam alone is sadhanam. But jnanaya antahkaranam. A mind which can know. And for that, antahkarani shuddhi is only karmana, natu jnanena. By any amount of study, antahkarana shuddhi won't come. You need study, because study will give you the understanding of what is right and wrong. But finally, I have to use my will to grow out of my ragadvesha. And first use of the will is make a choice. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametaha. Tau samparitya vivinakta dhiraha. And what does he know? One who takes shreyas, sadhu bhavati. Hiyate arthat ya upreyo vrinite. And one who goes after prayers, what is pleasant, in keeping with my likes and dislikes, he will slip. Won't be going to eternal hell. He will slip. Can come back. Okay? This is the whole trip. Because if you understand this, then as I told you, the verses can be fit in. And I cannot cover all the verses so far. So I thought I will give you one good roundup of everything. And then we'll go back and look at what we have to look. Okay? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om